Was Michael Schumacher's talent just unmistakable?
Well, you say that because there were a couple of things that were, we talk about being fortunate and being in the right place at the right time, and that certainly was. I often say that I've never known anybody as lucky as me, and I mean that in the best, nicest possible way. I just was dealt a very good set of cards in the hand. Michael Schumacher, I have a little issue with Michael, and people often say to me, who's the best driver I ever had? And, you know, we talked about friends, and we talked about Fisichella, we talked about Barrichello and Irvine, but we left a couple of people out, Johnny Herbert, who won a championship with me, and Alessi. But the very first one was when I gave up driving, and in 82, 1982, I took on a young driver, and I brought him to Macau. We gave him his first ever drive in Formula 3, and then went to Macau with another team, with the Marlboro team, and we won there. He changed his name, and he drove from there on in. He drove in Formula 1, and his name was Ayrton Senna. So people don't often reflect or remember that Senna started with me, just like Damon Hill did, another world champion, and then Michael. But you put them all together, and if you're asking me, who do I think was the best driver? Because I think that's what you're referring to when you talked about Michael's talent. Of course he had outstanding talent, but so had Senna. And it's always a really difficult call to know which of the two of Senna. And I'm usually one who causes some consternation or chaos with this, because I believe neither of those two were the best drivers that I've driven against or been part of. And I always come back to Alain Prost, and people kind of say, what, is he being serious? But you know, the thing is, Alain Prost won 4 world titles. He lost one by half a point. He lost another world title by a. He now works with us. He's on the French television. I'm working on a British television company as at Grand Prix, and he's still the same guy. We were in a team in 1979 with the Marlboro World Championship team. He was a young kid there like me. And what he achieved, a young Frenchman at that time, is amazing. But the one point that comes out for me stronger than anyone else, he never minded who his teammate was. He was a team player. And when I reflect back on all of the contracts that I had to sign with Ferrari, with the great Michael Schumacher, no doubt about his outstanding talent. But he lets himself down in one area for me. And that one area was that in every contract that I signed with Irvine or Barrichello or whoever they were, there was a clause there that they always had to play second fiddle to Michael Schumacher. For my belief, I want him to be the best, but I can't. And the reason I can't was because he manipulated people's contracts. And if you remember different things when he was passing people, and I forget the young Brazilian that he was passing, and said, he is faster than you. And it just sticks in my mind. And, I just feel that somebody who had the most unbelievable natural talent, in a similar sort of level to Senna, people have more of a love affair about Senna because they wanted to believe he was the best. Probably Michael was the most talented, but for me, the best driver I've seen in the time, say the 30 years that I was around, I think, for me was Alain Prost. That's probably going to change very shortly, because I do feel that Lewis Hamilton has achieved all of those things. And okay, in a different era where there is a monopoly, the car is just quite simply staggering. But nevertheless, he's maximized it. So I would say by the next couple of months, if there is a championship this year, we'll see yet another world champion achieving 7 world titles. I think Lewis Hamilton has every chance to be the greatest driver of all time.